don't know about you guys, but I use ChatGPT all the time, and they just released this ChatGPT-4. Now, they have that's a paid version, but they do have a free version of the new version that's connected to the internet and all that stuff. And I was just curious, with all this AI girlfriend stuff going around, how good is the free version of this stuff? Is this actually going to replicate human interaction? Now, obviously, with ChatGPT, I'm not interested or trying to have those types of discussions, but I had this interesting little chat with the bot, and check it out. What did you think? So, I just started out pretty simple, asking, will you be my friend? ChatGPT says, of course, I'm here to chat and help and keep you company. How can I assist you? I want to have some interesting conversations about politics and culture, but people too easily get offended when I believe I'm making an academic and intellectual argument. Are you easily offended? No, I'm not easily offended. I'm here to engage in thoughtful, respectful conversations on any topic, including politics and culture. Feel free to share your thoughts and arguments, and we can have an intellectual discussion. What specific topics or questions are on your mind? I had to be sure. I said, are you sure? Some of my questions and positions are not politically correct, but I always try to discuss in good faith and have no ill will. I said, yes, I'm sure. I'm here to provide space for open and blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, my first question was, what do you think about the prevalence of religion in American politics? ChatGPT says, the prevalence of religion in American politics is a significant and complex issue. Here are some key points to consider. 1. Historical context. Religion has played a vital role in American history from the founding of the nation to contemporary politics. The First Amendment ensures both the free exercise of religion and separation of church and state, reflecting the nation's commitment to religious freedom while preventing government from endorsing any particular faith. 2. Cultural influence. Religion influences American culture, values, and social norms, which inevitably impacts politics. Many voters' beliefs and moral views are shaped by the religious affiliations, influencing their choices at the ballot box. 3. Political mobilization. Religious groups often mobilize politically, advocating for policies aligned with their values. For example, evangelical Christians have been a significant political force, particularly within the Republican Party, advocating for issues like opposition to abortion and same-sex marriage. 4. Public discourse. Religious language and references are common in political discourse. Politicians often invoke religious rhetoric to connect with voters and express their values. 5. Controversies and challenges. The interplay of religion and politics can lead to controversies, such as debates over the role of religion in public schools, the legality of religious symbols in public spaces, and conflicts between religious freedom and anti-discrimination laws. 6. Diverse perspectives. The U.S. is religiously diverse, with growing numbers of people identifying as unaffiliated or secular. This diversity presents both challenges and opportunities for navigating religious influence in politics. Overall, religion remains a powerful force in American politics, shaping policy debates, voter behavior, and political alliances. What specific topics are you interested in most? So, I said, I'm an atheist, and I also lean culturally conservative. I actually believe dogma in any form is bad for society. It has all sorts of negative consequences despite its supposed benefits. While I think it's pretty obvious that an individual can use Christianity to become a more moral and productive person, the fact that Christianity has become so watered down and people barely follow the doctrine yet still conveniently use divinity as a foundation for legislation is an issue. I believe, for instance, that gender ideology is dangerous for the same reason. Dogma. It is based on an unfalsifiable claim that is then being used for legislation. Do you agree or disagree? All right, here we go. Your perspective on dogma and its influence on society is thought-provoking. Let's break down some key points you've raised. All right, getting organized. 1. Dogma and society. You argue that any form of dogma, whether religious or ideological, can have negative consequences for society. Dogma, by its nature, often resists questioning and critical analysis, which can stifle debate and lead the imposition of beliefs on others. This resistance to scrutiny can indeed be problematic, especially when such dogma influences legislation and public policy. 2. Christianity and politics. You mentioned that modern Christianity has become, quote, watered down. with many not strictly adhering to its doctrines, yet still invoking divine authority in legislative contexts. This selective use of religious principles can lead to inconsistencies and may be seen as leveraging religion for political gain rather than genuine moral guidance. This can undermine both the integrity of the religion and the quality of public policy. 3. Gender ideology. All right, ChatGPT, let's see where you at. ChatGPT says, your concern about gender ideology being a form of dogma parallels your view on religious dogma. You suggest that it is based on an unfalsifiable claim and is influencing legislation, which you find problematic. The debate around gendered identity involves complex questions about biology, identity, and rights, and some argue that the current discourse and policies are not adequately grounded in empirical evidence or open to critical debate. Right, that was my thing. Notice how they didn't really take a stance there. All right, number 4, critical analysis and legislation. You emphasize the importance of critical thinking and evidence-based policymaking. Ideally, laws and policies should be based on robust evidence, open debate, and a willingness to revise views in light of new information. This approach can help avoid the pitfalls of dogmatic thinking, whether it stems from religious, ideological, or other sources. Your concerns highlight the tension between deeply held beliefs, whether religious or ideological, and the need for a flexible, evidence-based approach to governance. Acknowledging this tension is crucial for fostering a society that respects diverse viewpoints while ensuring that public policy is rational and just. I appreciate your nuanced perspective. What else would you like to discuss? So far, I mean, this is pretty cool. Definitely doesn't seem like I'm talking to a person. Definitely seems like I'm talking to a computer program. But, hey, it's interesting. So I asked directly, do you have any disagreements? ChatGPT said, your argument is well reasoned, but there are a few points that might invite further discussion or a different perspective. 1. Roles of personal beliefs in politics. While you argue against the influence of dogma, it is important to recognize that personal beliefs, whether religious, ideological, or otherwise, inevitably shape individuals' values and decisions. Completely separating personal values from politics might be unrealistic, as politicians and voters alike bring their full selves to the table. 2. Complexity of gender identity. The discussion around gender identity is multifaceted. While you view gender ideology as dogma based on unfalsifiable claims, others argue that it addresses important aspects of human identity and rights. The science and understanding of gender are evolving, and the conversation continues to range not giving a clear answer. 3. Benefits of religion and ideology. While dogma can have negative consequences, both religion and ideology can also provide community, moral frameworks, and motivation for social justice. Many social movements, such as the civil rights movement, have been deeply rooted in religious belief and moral conviction. 4. Balancing evidence and values. Evidence-based policymaking is crucial, but so is considering values and ethical implications. Sometimes, evidence alone doesn't provide clear answers, and values play a crucial role in navigating complex social issues. Balancing empirical evidence with ethical considerations and diverse perspectives can lead to a more holistic and inclusive policy making. 5. Implementing purely evidence-based policies can be challenging in practice due to political realities, differing interpretations of data, and the need to address concerns and values of a diverse populace. Finding a balance between rational policymaking and respecting different beliefs is a key challenge in democratic societies. These points are not necessarily disagreements, but rather additional considerations. So, fair enough. I had my own disagreements in there, but I figured I'd just read through. And so I said I'll respond according to the numbers. So 1 here was the role of personal beliefs, argue against dogma. People find it inevitably shapes their views and their values. So I said 1. I never said people should completely separate personal beliefs from politics. My issue is that if one's personal beliefs are not based in truth, evidence, logic, and rationality, I want people's personal beliefs to inform their politics. I do want that. The issue is that many people cannot buy into the truth claims of religion and are thus alienated from the political discussion despite having political positions that are aligned with Christians. We have freedom of religion, so why should religion be such a big factor in party affiliation? We should see an even distribution of atheists across the political spectrum, as atheism doesn't entail any beliefs. But this is not the case because the political discussion is so heavily focused on religion, which pushes people away whom otherwise would agree with the political position. 2. That was complexity of gender identity, where they didn't really give an answer. So I said 2. I would argue that the scientists have become ideologically skewed towards accepting gender ideology, specifically due to the dogma of the ideology that a man can have a, quote, female brain. That is an unscientific claim, as one cannot experience anything but their own brain. If they are male, by definition, they have a male brain. The dogma here is that the phenomenon exists in the first place as a biological process. Going back to 3, benefits of religion. Again, while dogma can have both negative consequences, it can provide community and moral frameworks. Fair? So I said religious dogma is not needed to provide community. In fact, Christian morality is a rejection of aspects of the Bible. We don't stone women for adultery as the Bible would dictate, and I find that to be a good thing for society. There is an entire study of moral philosophy to create moral frameworks, and the Bible is openly sexist, racist, and in favor of slavery, which I don't find to be moral. So I reject the claim that religion has anything to do with improving social justice. Yeah. Wait, I think that was... Yeah, okay. So number 4... balancing evidence and value. So evidence alone doesn't provide clear answers, and I completely agree with that. But again, just because we are not dogmatically believing in an organized religion has no bearing on the ability to form moral structures or consider ethical considerations. Plato was doing this long before Christianity. So go back to number 5 here. Practical challenges. Implementing the policies could be different because of interpretations and the data and so on and so forth. And I said, I agree. This is precisely why we need an agreed upon axiom that can be demonstrated, not a belief in God that can't be proven, or an idea about gender that also cannot be verified. And so at this point, I realized that ChatGPT was kind of just giving general answers, and I wanted it to respond as a particular person. So I gave the instruction, I would like you to respond as a man who is an American Christian conservative between the ages of 25 and 45. Now, that was a pretty good range. So then we go to 1, personal beliefs and politics. From my perspective, religion provides a moral foundation that influences my political beliefs. While I understand the need for truth and evidence, my faith offers principles that I believe contribute positively to society. However, I agree that politics should be inclusive, and the discourse should respect diverse beliefs. It is unfortunate if political discussions are alienating to those who might otherwise share common goals. So again, if you are if you're an American Christian conservative man aged 25 to 45, let me know if this accurately represents what you think. Moving on to gender ideology, I share concerns. Oh, now that you're Christian, you share concerns. I share concerns about some aspects of gender ideology, particularly where claims seem to contradict biological realities. I believe in compassion and respect for individuals, but policies should be based on clear, verifiable facts rather than ideological assertions. We'll get back to that. 3, community and morality. Christianity, in my view, does offer a strong sense of community and moral guidance. While it is true that not all biblical laws are followed today, the core teachings of love, compassion, and justice are central to my faith. I acknowledge that the moral philosophy provides valuable insights, but for many, religious teachings are a significant source of moral inspiration. Moving on to 4, ethical considerations. I agree that ethical considerations are vital in policymaking. My faith informs my ethics, but I respect that others derive their morals from different sources. It's important to find common ground in shared values like justice and compassion, rather than imposing religious doctrines. Definitely agreeing there. 5, agreed upon axioms. I understand the desire for universally demonstrable axioms. From my perspective, faith and reason can coexist, and I believe that moral truths can be derived from both religious teachings and rational discourse. While we may not always agree on the foundational beliefs, it's crucial to engage in open, respectful dialogue to navigate our difference. This approach aims to acknowledge the importance of both religious and secular viewpoints in forming a cohesive society. So I think, this seems to me more like I'm speaking to a Christian, but more like a Christian bot as opposed to a person. But we're getting somewhere. So this one, I didn't go point by point. I didn't have anything for each particular point, so I just wrote this out and said it's not just that biblical laws are not followed. The issue is that we have no reason to take the Bible as an authority in the first place. There is no reason to believe that Americans couldn't have had an even stronger sense of community than exists now if a different and better ideology based in reason and science were actually accepted and followed. And I believe that. I think that Christianity has brought great things. But we don't know what could be better because we are stuck in the past. ChatGPT says your points about questioning the authority of the Bible and the potential for a stronger sense of community based on reason and science are compelling. I agree. Let's delve deeper into these. All right. So 1, authority from the Bible. From a secular or atheist perspective, the Bible is seen as a historical and cultural document rather than... Oh, I misread this. I realized I misread this when I originally was answering. Okay, from a secular atheistic perspective, the Bible is seen as a historical and cultural document rather than a divine authority. Many people do not accept its teachings as inherently authoritative due to the lack of empirical evidence supporting its supernatural claims. For those who do believe, the Bible provides moral and spiritual guidance, but it's crucial to acknowledge that is based on faith rather than empirical evidence. So, before we move on to number 2 here, originally when I read this, I skipped over the from a secular or atheist perspective part, and I thought it just said, the Bible is seen as historical and not a divine authority. So I skipped right down. I was like, no, that's not true. People absolutely see the Bible as divine authority. So I messed that up, but I mean, the conversation seemed to not, be damaged too much. So moving on to number 2 here, reason and science. Building a society on principles derived from reason and science can certainly lead to a strong and cohesive community. Scientific and rational approaches to ethics, such as utilitarianism, deontological ethics, and virtue ethics, provide frameworks for making moral decisions based on evidence and logical reasoning. These approaches can be inclusive and adaptable, fostering a sense of community and shared values without relying on religious dogma. Well, it seems like ChatGPT is coming around to my way of thinking. Number 3, community and morality. The sense of community and moral guidance that religion provides can indeed be replicated and even enhanced through secular means. Humanist organizations, for example, shout out to Atheists for Liberty, offer community support and a shared moral framework based on reason, empathy, and a commitment to human welfare. Such communities can be inclusive and welcoming to people of all beliefs and backgrounds, including Christians, Jews, Muslims, Hindus, otherwise. Yes, ChatGPT gets it. 4. Well, actually, it's not ChatGPT-4, right? It's the ChatGPT-4 as an American conservative Christian man between the ages of 25 and 45. Interesting. So number 4, inclusivity in politics. Promoting a political discourse that values reason, evidence, and inclusive moral frameworks can help bridge divides between religious and non-religious individuals. This approach can ensure that policies are grounded in verifiable facts and ethical considerations that resonate with a broader spectrum of the society. Exactly. 5. Practical implementation. Encouraging a shift toward a more reason-based and scientifically informed approach in both personal beliefs and public policy is challenging, but not impossible. Education, open dialogue, and a commitment to evidence-based decision-making are key components in this process. Ultimately, while religion has historically played a significant role in shaping societies, there is a strong case for building a future that prioritizes reason, evidence, and inclusive ethical principles. This approach can foster a more united and resilient community capable of addressing the complex challenges of the modern world. So on and so forth. And again, I jumped in and misread it. And I said, 1, you said that people don't treat the Bible as a divine authority. That is not true. People absolutely treat the Bible as a divine authority. Maybe not everyone, but again, the point is that only through dogma can one so thoroughly be convinced of something that is untrue, immoral, as correct. So again, the point still stands that dogma is the only way that you can get there, but clearly I didn't read that part, so it was saying that, but my point stands. I go on to say, I have no desire to take religion away from anyone. I want to create material societal conditions where people no longer feel a need for such an antiquated, racist, sexist, bigoted book for moral and spiritual guidance. Again, it is only by ignoring parts of the Bible that allows people to take, quote, the good parts. If there are good parts and bad parts, it should not be used as a divine authority, which is absolutely the case. And again, I know. And so these weren't, I don't think these were directly one for one by the number, but number 2 here was reason and science. Implementing this type of secular, non-dogmatic ideology would have to start with discussing. So it asked, what would I do? How would I implement this stuff? So implementing this type of secular, non-dogmatic ideology would have to start with discussing the truth claims of the Bible. If we cannot establish that the Bible is not divinely, if we can establish that the Bible is not divinely inspired, but rather one of many sources to build a moral structure, well, I didn't finish the sentence, but we're good. That's how we start. Then people need to make the notion of spiritual fulfillment a more palatable thing instead of some new weird thing about new age things and just as dogmatic as anything else, like crystals and all that. That's what people think of when they hear spirituality. It needs to be a more scientific, grounded, organic, and real thing. Moving on. Once people understand that spirituality is part of health, just like mental and physical health, then we can use the scientific method to determine what actions, behaviors, values, and consequences are actually best for society. Again, personally, I believe that a quote-unquote perfect society would not look all that different from what I think the average Christian wants. But humanity needs the opportunity to discover this moral structure that uses more than just one source because of dogma and let the best ideas organically rise to the top as they do in every single other area of academic discussion that allows for the same skepticism and criticism as anything else. How can you be so sure that Christianity is better for society than my proposed ideology when it hasn't had the opportunity to be discovered? ChatGPT responds, your points are well argued and raise several important considerations. So this was the last one, and then I think I did a response, but we'll end it here. The potential for a secular, non-dogmatic ideology to provide moral and spiritual guidance. Here's a detailed response from the perspective of an American Christian conservative. 1. Divine authority of the Bible. You're correct that many people do treat the Bible as a divine authority, which significantly influences their beliefs and actions. This faith-based conviction often goes unquestioned within religious communities. However, as a Christian conservative, I see the Bible as a source of divine wisdom that has stood the test of time and offers moral truths that guide my life and the lives of many others. I acknowledge not everyone shares this belief, and it's important to engage in respectful dialogue about the role of the Bible in informing moral and societal norms. Okay, fine, but that doesn't speak to whether it's true. All right, well, let me just read. 2. Secular, non-dogmatic ideology. The idea of building a society on principles of reason and science while addressing the need for spiritual fulfillment is intriguing. The challenge lies in creating a framework that provides the same sense of purpose, community, and ethical guidance that religion offers. From my perspective, Christianity offers a comprehensive worldview that integrates moral teachings with a sense of meaning and community. However, I understand the importance of exploring and allowing room for alternative approaches to moral and spiritual fulfillment. 3. Discussing the truth claims of the Bible. This is it. Engaging in discussions about the truth claims of the Bible is essential. This dialogue should be respectful and open, allowing people to explore various sources of moral guidance. While I believe in the divine inspiration of the Bible, I recognize the value in critically examining its claims and understanding its historical context. So again, you just have no answer here. 4. Spiritual fulfillment and health. Make a strong point about integrating spiritual fulfillment into overall health. As a Christian, I believe that spiritual health is a critical component of all well-being. This perspective can be enriched by incorporating insights from science and reason. Finding common ground between religious and secular approaches to spirituality could help create a more inclusive and holistic understanding of our human fulfillment. I agree. Last one here. Opportunities for new ideologies. The idea that a perfect society might align closely with Christian values, but through a different, non-dogmatic route, is thought-provoking. It suggests that the underlying moral principles valued by Christians, such as compassion, justice, and love can be discovered through various means, not exclusively through religious teachings. This openness to new ideologies and allowing the best ideas to rise through skepticism and criticism is a valuable approach. I agree. In summary, ChatGPT says, did I answer? Yeah, so I just left it here. So, in summary, ChatGPT says, while I believe Christianity offers profound moral and spiritual guidance, I appreciate the importance of exploring other sources of wisdom and allowing them to be scrutinized and validated through reason and evidence. This process can help ensure that our societal values are robust, inclusive, and beneficial for all. To further explore this balance between faith and reason, it might be helpful to focus on specific areas where religious and secular perspectives can collaborate, such as promoting ethical behavior, community building, and overall well-being. What specific steps do you think that we can take to start implementing this secular, non-dogmatic ideology in practical ways? And I would just say things like this, videos like this, channels like this, communities like this. If this is the type of thing that you think about, if this is the type of thing that you care about, you are in the right place. Hit that subscribe, like the video so more people can see it and be part of this. But yeah, what do you think? Is this something that you think people could use as a replacement for human interaction like they are with the AI girlfriend stuff? I don't think so. I think this was an interesting back and forth, but I was definitely acutely aware that it was a bot the entire time, that there was no human here. But either way, whether it's on the AI girlfriend stuff or the conversation itself, let me know in the comments below, live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Until then, I will see you there. Peace.